Okay, great. I have a question mainly regarding editing audio. What I would like to know is since I need to work in I'm doing a training here in Germany and I have to do audio editing very soon. My program of choice is Logic because I'm already familiar with Logic. I could use another one, but I would have to learn it first, and it's gonna take some time. Uh, what I would like to know is basically what is the best and quickest way if I have to edit audio and if I have to basically create groups or subgroups of audios. For example, I'm working on a drum set, and I basically need to edit that drum set. Or if I work, for example, also this also applies to working with vocals. I would have a vocal group, and I would need to edit that vocal group. What is basically I get I get how to do this on video within a workshop, but this is for sighted people and not for not for me. So I would like generally to know how you're working with if you have to edit bigger audios. I think that's my question. Thanks.
Editing stuff as a group, yeah?
Yeah, it's stuff that a group, whether I get it as a group or I need to set it up as a group. So I have control over it, how I set it up, but I need to do probably edits to all the groups.
So this is just audio. You're not editing audio for video. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, I'm just editing audio, not video right now. I wouldn't do video because I
so you're editing like a drum set or a group of vocals is what you're saying, like something where you need to keep the audio group together.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's fairly doable in any of the three main DAWs, Reaper, Logic, or Pro Tools. The first question I'd ask you is, if you're already comfortable with Logic, how quickly do you feel like you could learn something else? Because while something like Reaper might be a little bit like quicker with editing because of the key commands that it has available to you, there's still also a learning curve that's going to take up time. So, part of it is what's your comfort level with learning something new, because it might make sense to just stick with Logic and kind of master it in Logic as opposed to trying to force yourself to learn something new.
This is what I'm thinking too. So it's better to do it in Logic.
Right. Well, what I would suggest is right now I have a bunch of like basic editing stuff on the logic.band YouTube page. So check that out and see if we can get a handle on that, and then go from there. See how you feel about that. There's some Reaper tutorial that these guys have done too. Maybe take a look at that. You guys can probably point him to something editing wise that he can look at to see what might feel a little more comfortable to him.
Hey Steve. Just real quick. Could you walk them through like a basic, walk us all through like a basic editing session where it's just a copy and paste, maybe audio?
Right. So, I mean, it works very similarly. So let's say you have, audio that goes from let's say bar 5 to bar 9, for example.
Yes.
If you're working with multiple tracks like you would be in a drum situation here, but let me take one track first. If you're working with one track, it's, you can split on either end and select the audio in between. Use your left and right arrows to move between your regions and select different regions in Logic. Command T split. So, you can split on either end, select a region, copy, move the playhead to where you need with period or comma, and paste. Period and comma moves you by measures in Logic. If you're working with a group of instruments, you can turn on group mode. You can set up an edit group, and then you can use something like the marquee, which sets a selection, a start and end point for selection, and copy. And whatever edit you do to one track, because you have a selection group turned on, whatever edit you do to one track at that point will then, select the other tracks, copy the other tracks, cut, delete the other tracks, and paste. As long as you keep that first track in focus, wherever you navigate to and paste, it will paste across the other tracks in the selection group as well.
So what's the process for setting up one of those groups in Logic?
It's a matter of selecting all the tracks and then going into the group edit field on one of them and turning group mode on and giving it a name and then selecting what type of group you want. It's going to give you options like selection group, editing group, recording
so
group.
you group the tracks, not the individual regions, right?
Right. You group the tracks and then you go from there. So it
sounds like for this you need an edit group, right?
Say that again.
It sounds like for this, Patrick would need an edit group.
Yeah, you probably want to use the edit group. For drums, they also have a phase lock group, which basically means everything stays phase aligned. So there's that option as well if you're working with drums specifically.